anything with heart disease when it comes down to increased blood pressure, because increased blood pressure is dangerous. So you need to be aware that you don't want to be walking around hypertensive, because if you are hypertensive and you are having adrenaline, it's going to vasoconstrict the arteries, the vessels, and make the heart pump harder. One very big downside of this, I thought I would mention it. You can check my videos out on osteoporosis. We did a lot of stuff on the magnesium and how absorption of vitamin D, of calcium when vitamin D is available in the body. But we look at osteoporosis because of the fact that heavy coffee drinking can increase the risk of osteoporosis. Remember, this acts as a diuretic. So the extra urinary excretion that we're getting can impair the calcium from the digestive tract. So too much coffee can be excreting not only calcium, but other minerals. So you need to be aware of that. I believe the magnesium, because it is a diuretic. Anytime we are excreting stuff from the kidney, we are potentially causing potential problems in our body. Heartburn is a big one. I do recommend people who have gastrointestinal, have acid reflux or heartburn, be very careful. This dyspepsia you can get from drinking coffee. I believe by the research on the decaf, it is easier on the system when it comes to heartburn. But dehydration is the big key. For people that are pregnant, I recommend diminishing the amount of caffeine just for safety purposes. It does state that you still are allowed to drink it, but there are lots of different studies on that. Here on decaffeinated coffee, it may increase the risk of rheumatoid arthritis. There's still research being done on that. On the other hand, they're stating that people who drank 4 or more cups of coffee a day had twice the risk of developing this compared to those who drank less coffee. So here we have to kind of use our discrepancy. I am not saying don't drink it. I am saying that it's all about moderation, because there are cons and pros. Even if you are have a little higher blood pressure, if you're going to drink less coffee, it's going to be healthier for you. So just be aware on what you can and what you can't do. A few things that I want to state on this. Let's go ahead and we talk about actually what I want to talk about here, organic. Very important. If you're going to drink good coffee, drink organic. I mean, there's really a no-brainer. There's a lot of sprays and pesticides and stuff that they spray on the crops and what goes on out there. I don't really know all the stuff in there, but I know there are lots of things that are not good for us. So I want to mention just a little bit about the decaf. As again, we talk about organic is still the way to go, in any way that you can get it, that is the way to go. A decaf, the only really main thing, the difference is it really has the same polyphenols. It has the same components within coffee, although there's still left some residual of caffeine in decaf, because you still can feel the little edge if you're not a coffee drinker. Now, if you are a coffee drinker, decaf is not going to put a dent on you, but realize there are cons and pros when you should and you should not drink decaf. But I'm not going to go into all of those. I just want to briefly state that decaf is not going to give you that jittery feeling. And it does have a lot of links still when it comes down to type 2 diabetes and reducing a lot of other health risks like neurogenic diseases. Both regular and decaf have the same positive effects on these age-related mental declines. So I want you to understand that decaf does have its benefits. But realize that, decaf is not it doesn't have the same zest. If you're a coffee drinker, there's a big difference. Any good coffee drinker, or let's say a professional coffee drinker, is going to know the difference between a decaf and a regular coffee. So there you have it. I just hopefully, let me just see if there's any last thing I wanted to leave with you here. Decaf overall is a good alternative to regular coffee for those people who are caffeine sensitive, as we talk about pregnant women, adolescents, because even children that may like coffee, they should really calm down on that regular caffeinated toxins. We say caffeinated drug. So those who are taking actually certain medications, the last thing I want to state, if you are on certain kinds of medications, I always recommend to speak to your doctor, because as you are having this type of pulling effect from the kidneys is actually excreting this diuretic effect. You can be losing a lot of minerals, and minerals has an effect with your heart, has an effect with how your body works. For example, it's very common to have palpitations in a lot of people. People get the little, the fluttering, the fluttering that they get, and they kind of think they're having a heart attack. Then you get a little anxiety, you get all dizzy, you start getting sweaty, just as a result of coffee. So as a result of these caffeinated things, be aware that teas have caffeine in it. And a lot of the drinks that we drink, a lot of sodas has caffeine in it. And just be aware of what you're putting inside your body. Me, I'm very reactive to caffeine. People have written me and they said, why don't I drink caffeine? It's just, I feel jittery without it. And I know when I put caffeine in my body, I'm very hypersensitive. Some people aren't. So get to know your body. That's very, very important. I hope that this gave you some understanding about the good, the bad. And I really recommend, this is healthy. There's a lot of studies. There's studies that are coming out that it's actually increasing years to people's life, longevity, a lot of health, because we're preventing the neurogenic diseases. We're actually preventing, a lot of diseases, period, with diabetes, cardiovascular, from coffee. But the most important thing that I want you to understand behind all of this is, like anything that you put in your body, is moderation. All right, because something is good, it doesn't mean that you don't want to keep eating so much of it until you get sick. It doesn't work that way. So you still have to get your sleep, but make sure you're not drinking that caffeine too close to when you go to bed, because of the fact a lot of people like drinking coffee with their late lunches or early dinners, and they like to drink it before they go to bed. It's like nicotine. Nicotine's a stimulant. You need that sleep, because if you want to keep your body healthy,